8BitDo makes what I think are the best third-party controllers for the Nintendo Switch, specifically for 2D games, but they're also good for 3D games too. It made me wonder why other larger third-party manufacturers weren't also making retro-styled controllers for the Switch. Or, just controllers in a similar form factor. It's been a really long time since the original SN30 Pro came out, but now PDP decided to throw their hat in the ring with the PDP Little Wireless Controller. Yes, that's the best name they could come up with. But honestly, I'd rather have that than just a random string of letters and numbers. It's being touted for its portability, and just look at it. It's almost like a mix between an SNES and a Genesis controller. But can a big company like PDP stack up against other cheaper offerings on the market? This video is sponsored by Sail Away Coffee. Some of you might know that I'm really into coffee. Lately, I've been making my own cold brew. All right, well, instead of this mess, how about just try Long Island's own Sail Away Coffee? With flavors like horchata, touch of sweet, or sea salt and caramel, which is so popular they didn't have any at their offices, so just pretend like it's there. Of course, there's also straight black too, available in box tap or nitro cans. Check it out at sailawaycoffee.com/Wulff and use the promo code WULFF20, WULFF 20 to get a whole 20% off your order. That's a lot off. So make life easy for yourself and check it out at the link in the description below. Wow, I'm just gonna keep drinking that coffee, huh? It's like 7 p.m. over here. The PDP Little Wireless Controller boasts a whopping 40-hour battery life. I'm not sure what the original SN30 Pro's battery life is, but I know that the Pro Plus has a 20-hour battery life, and you'd assume that the Plus's is better. Battery life is hardly ever a problem for me with any of my 8BitDo controllers, not even really the one that I leave in my travel bag, but with 40 hours, you'll basically never have to think about it, especially for one that you just leave in your bag. It also has a USB-C port for charging and comes with a disappointingly tiny USB cable. Oh. A short cable like this means that in some setups, you just won't be able to use it while it's charging. But then again, with a 40-hour battery life, that shouldn't be an issue. I haven't gotten a chance to test the battery life myself because I'm not about to sit here and use the controller for 2 days straight. I'll just take their word for it. It's a nice looking controller. The spot gloss logos are a nice touch. The roundness makes it kind of feel like a toy, and the plastic isn't exactly premium, but it is comfortable, even for big hands like mine. The thumbsticks also feel good. It's pretty hard plastic. The harsh concaves give you a lot of grip. The face buttons are very convex and thick, but also feel really good. The shoulder buttons are real close together, but the way the ZL and ZR buttons swoop out gives you a nice place for your index fingers to sit. I actually like this better than it is on the 8BitDo controller. And the motion controls actually work fantastic. I'm always a little nervous how motion controls will fare compared to Nintendo's own best-in-class motion controller technology, but it stacks up pretty well on first-party games. I don't notice any jank. It feels good. What I don't like, and I know you're probably all really wanting to know, is the D-pad. Well, it's mostly just the placement of the D-pad. This controller's design seems to prioritize 3D games or games where you want to use the left thumbstick more. The D-pad doesn't necessarily feel bad on the bottom part of the controller. It just doesn't feel necessarily as good as placement would be on the top. It does require you to have a strange grip on the controller, with your right hand on the face buttons and your left hand down on the D-pad. Otherwise, the D-pad is fine. It has a harsh concave to it, kind of similar to an Xbox One controller. It's also very plastic feeling, but it's a hard plastic and it has a little bit of resistance to it. I also don't like where the home button is because I always touch it instead of the start button. They're flipped. It's a good feeling D-pad, but like the SN30 Pro's D-pad feels like an actual SNES D-pad if you get the SNES styled one. So I fail to see why anybody would get the PDP controller over the 8-bit do controller. Yeah, it's little, but the 8-bit do is littler. The PDP has a real wide face. They claim it's pocketable, but it's still got some pretty massive thumbsticks.
When am I ever gonna do this?
The SN30 Pro is just as thin, but I still wouldn't pocket that. Get the 8-bit do Lite if you want to stick it in your pants. This PDP controller is also $50. The 8-bit do one is $5 cheaper, and I frequently see it for just $40. Again, I see what they're trying to do, but it just feels like a cheaper, less good SN30 Pro, even though it costs more money. The only reasons I could think of for purchasing this PDP controller over an 8-bit do controller is maybe you prefer having the thumbstick on the top. Maybe you're going to play mostly 3D games and you want a controller in a small form factor. Or maybe you want that ridiculously long battery life. Maybe the whole purpose of your purchase is that you want to leave something out for a really long time between charges. The last thing I want to do is sound like an 8-bit do salesman. I'm critical of them when I need to be. They don't pay me. I just get controllers every once in a while. I just genuinely think that they make the best third-party controllers for the Switch. I also think that most people should just get a Pro controller. I think that the 8-bit do controllers are great if you want to play mostly 2D games. But if you do want to play 3D games, in this case, I still don't think the PDP comes out on top. With the 8-bit do controller, you're getting PlayStation 4 style thumbsticks. It's only ever so slightly more comfortable in the Xbox style position. Since the SN30 Pro came out, 8-bit do already came out with a better version, the Plus, that has way more comfortable grips. So PDP couldn't even rip off the good version. I think that PDP's goal was just to make a super functional controller in a very tiny form factor. But for $50, there's just way better options out there. Hell, I'd even say just use some Joy-Con. What do you guys think about this PDP little wireless controller? Look at the little cute baby. I had a few people send it to me on Twitter, and also thank you, PDP, for sending this to me to try out. Anyway, is there a use case for this that I haven't thought about? Because I'm trying to rack my brain around getting this over the other things, and I can't think of it besides the 40-hour battery life. And honestly, that's so long. And it's not something I ever thought that I would need in a controller, something that ridiculously long of a battery life. Anyway, leave it in the comments below. At me on Twitter, and all of this other social media garbage. We got new videos here all the time, at least once a week. Make sure you're subscribed so you see those and have notifications on so you're one of the first people to see the videos. And streams over on twitch.tv/WulffDen. And also, those streams now go over to Wulff Den Clips, the YouTube channel, so you can watch us live and talk about stuff like this. I'm live tonight, the day this video is posted. Or if Twitch isn't your thing, you can head on over to youtube.com/WulffDenClips to get just a summary of those live streams. Also, thank you SailAway for helping sponsor this video and for helping me stay awake while I'm working on this video. But of course, the most important thing that you can do and the easiest thing to help support us is, of course, subscribe. But share this video with a friend who's maybe looking at third-party controllers. Maybe they have one of these. Maybe they just got a Switch. Those people are usually thinking about getting some accessories. Thank you guys very much. Have yourself a very good week. I love you. Give you a Pablo hug and a kiss.